What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog fantasy pick and plays for Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DAILYDOG, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. That 50% deposit match bonus with up to $1,000 is literally the best deposit match bonus out there. So don't use another code. You're not going to get anything better. If you want to support a small channel, a small content factory, the Daily Dog, use my promo code DailyDog. And again, it's the best promo code out there. So, you're not even giving anything up to support a smaller show like mine. I've done 169 episodes of this show, Monday through Friday. Have not missed one since I started it last spring. And my light is falling off the wall. So let's put that back up. All right, back to where we were. Sorry about the brief distraction there. Let's start with the NFL. This weekend we got Conference Championship week going on in the NFL. I gave out a pick Monday, or entry Monday, entry Tuesday, entry Wednesday. I'll give you those ones one more time and give you a new one for today. So the first one was Austin Ekeler, higher than 47.5 rushing plus receiving yards. I think he goes 50 plus in combo yards. No problem in this matchup against the Eagles. The Eagles are a tough defense. Tough against the run, tough against the pass, but Ekeler can hurt you so many ways. He can make big plays so many ways. Give me Ekeler higher than 47.5 rushing plus receiving yards. Pairing that with Harrison Butker, higher than 1.5 field goals. Playoff game in Arrowhead. This guy has done it plenty of times. I think he's going to continue to perform in these clutch situations as the kicker for the Chiefs. That's a 3x multiplier. One I gave you on Tuesday, Saquon, Barkley, lower than 126.5 rushing yards. You can actually get lower than like 128.5 now. Crazy high number. Just crazy high number. I know that he's been killing it. He's been crushing this number lately with these huge runs that he's had basically week after week. But again, conference championship, this type of rushing performance, they don't grow on trees. He can have an amazing game, 3 touchdowns, 120 yards, and we can still hit our lower. Just think about that. And then I'm going to pair that with Isiah Pacheco, higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns for the Chiefs. Again, playoff Pacheco, baby. Time for him to pound the rock in the red zone inside the 5, near that goal line. That is that slip, that entry with Saquon Barkley, lower than 126.5 rushing yards, and Isiah Pacheco higher than half rushing plus receiving touchdown, 4.05x multiplier. All right, the entry I gave you yesterday, Zach Ertz higher than 3.5 receptions. Zach is the he is the comfort blanket for our guy, Jaden Daniels. I think him and Austin Ekeler are going to have busy days through the air. I just don't think that outside of Terry McLaurin, the receivers do all that much for you. I think Zach Ertz, dependable hands, rival, a get-back game at the team that drafted him where he had a bunch of success early on in his career in the Eagles. Zach Ertz, higher than 3.5 receptions. DeAndre Hopkins, higher than 22.5 receiving yards. The guy is just too good to have too low of a number. I know he only had one target last week. I think this game is going to be a little bit more offensive focused. I think he's going to have plenty of opportunities between the 20s there to rack up some yards. That is a 3x multiplier. All right, new one for today. You know that I love Austin Ekeler, but I don't love Brian Robinson in this matchup. Brian Robinson, lower than 37.5 rushing yards. This guy's not that fast. He's kind of a plotter. He's kind of a 2-3 yard and cloud of dust type running back. I think that he's going to get some volume. I mean, I think he's probably going to have like a stat line like 12 for 32 or something like that. I just think it's so hard to rush against this team in the Eagles. And I think Brian Robinson just not really a good matchup against them in this playoff scenario. Pairing that with Khalil, Shakir, wide receiver of the Bills, higher than 54.5 receiving yards. The freestyle offense with him and Josh Allen, basically impossible to stop. So give me Khalil Shakir, higher than 54.5 receiving yards. A couple big plays, a couple yak plays. So yeah, give me Shakir. That's 3x multiplier, just flat one. Ryan Robinson, lower 37.5 rush yards. Khalil Shakir, higher than 54.5 receiving yards. If you haven't noticed, there's a theme, which is running back unders, rushing, and wide receivers over. This modern NFL, it's going to do a lot. You're going to do a lot more through the air than you are on the ground these days. All right, let's get to the association. NBA number 1, Wendell Clark, higher than 0.5 doubles. The Magic, Franz Wagner should be back in this game today, by the way. If that happens, I think that opens things up a little bit for our man, Wendell Clark here, to get more points specifically, but also he's going to be a rebound machine. I believe he had a double-double yesterday or in his last game as well. So give me the man, the myth, the legend, Wendell Carter, higher than 0.5 double-doubles, cleaning it up inside for the Orlando Magic as the lowly Portland Trail Blazers come to town. Pairing that with Nikola Jokic, higher than 9.5 assists. This is crazy to me. You're getting a flat multiplier on Jokic assists at 9.5, but you're getting a reduced multiplier on Jokic triple-double. Sure, there's a chance that he gets 10 steals or 10 blocks in this game, but not really likely. If he's getting a triple-double, it's going to be with points, rebounds, and assists. So it's hilarious. You're getting a flat multiplier on 9.5 assists higher when you have to pay a reduced juice, or you get reduced juice on the triple-double number. This is a 3.21x multiplier. All right. NBA number 2, James Harden higher than 9.5 assists. Wizards in town. Wizards are not good with defense. I think there's going to be plenty of guys for him to pass to and get stuff done. I think that James Harden 9.5 assists, very good number, very fair number, very high likelihood that we're going to get there with Mr. James Harden in this game. Pairing with my man, I say that jokingly, my man Trae Young higher than 10.5 assists. Hawks are hosting the Raptors, aka the Craptors. The Hawks had a hard loss yesterday. They lost 2 in a row. A good spot to get right against the Raptors. But hey, the Raptors maybe have turned a corner. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. That said, the loss in their last 4 games was a road game. It's another road game. I think that Trae Young is going to be hooking the dudes up with the ball. Higher than 10.5 assists, with James Harden higher than 9.5 assists, 3x multiplier. NHL number 1, Troy Terry of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, higher than half a point. Penguins in town. Penguins, not necessarily the greatest team defensively. I know that they got rid of Jari, and maybe they've turned a corner there. They had a nice win against the Kings on this road trip already. But I think that this one is a letdown spot for the Penguins, a spot where we're going to see some good things out of this young Ducks team. Troy Terry higher than 0.5 points. The other one I'm going with on this entry is going to be my man, Macklin Celebrini, higher than 0.5 assists as the Sharks host the Predators. These teams just played. It was an offensive fire fest. I believe the Predators won 7-5 after being down 5-1 in that game against the Sharks. Pretty crazy. But give me Macklin Celebrini higher than 0.5 assists. That is a 3.34x multiplier. All right, NHL number 2, Kirill Kaprizov of the Wild, back in business, baby. Higher than 0.5 assists as the Wild host the Utah Hockey Club. Utah is not that bad, but I think this is a good spot for the Wild to get back to winning after a couple tough weeks out there due to injuries and some other stuff going on. So Kirill Kaprizov higher than 0.5 assists. Pairing that with St. Louis Blues, Robert Thomas higher than 0.5 assists as VGK comes down. VGK is in trouble, and the Blues are pretty solid. Robert Thomas, very good assist man for this Blues squad. That is 3.57x multiplier. All right, we got to get into some tennis. We had some crazy Aussie Open results yesterday. Who would have thought Maddie Keys would have beat Iga Swiatek based on how Iga had played all tournament? But harder surface, faster surface. Keys definitely was able to leverage her serving superiority there. Iga had 7 double faults and 0 aces in that match. Pretty crazy. But let's talk to some men. Novak Djokovic, higher than 41 games played against Alexander Zverev. I think they're going 4 sets here. I think there's going to be some TBs involved. I think beating Novak on TB is tough. So give me Novak higher than 41 games played. Pairing that with Jannik Sinner, higher than 9 aces against Ben Shelton. I think Ben's going to have to put so much into his service games that he's not going to be returning all that well here. Sinner obviously has a lethal serve as the number 1 player in the world. At least by my book, he's far the best men's player in the world. That's a 3x multiplier. On the next tennis entry, we're going Alexander Zverev higher than 13.5 aces. I think that Novak is obviously very good, but I think we're going 4 sets just due to the number. 4 sets means that there's going to be lots of opportunities for aces. I think Novak is going to be conserving energy at some spots, especially if he gets an early break in a set. He's going to let some aces fly through from Zverev. So higher than 13.5 aces for Big Z. And then pairing that with Jannik Sinner, higher than 13.5 games lost. I think Sinner probably wins this in straight sets, but I do think there's probably 2 TBs along the way. So higher than 13.5 games lost for Jannik Sinner. That is a 3x multiplier. Lotto number 1. We're going with Nikola Jokic higher than 29.5 points. You get a little bit of a added juice there with Jokic higher than 29.5 points. I just think it's a very good matchup against the Kings. The Kings playing it back-to-back. Now they're on the road. Sabonis, the other center on the other team. Not necessarily defensively strong is what I'll say. Pairing that with Kauai Leonard higher than 1.5 3-pointers made. If Kawhi's going to have an offensive explosion, the Wizards are the team to let it happen. 1-18 on the road are those lowly Wizards. Don't play much defense. After we got Kawhi Leonard, we're going to go to Anaheim. Mason McTavish higher than 0.5 goals against the Penguins. Again, I think the Penguins are going to be in a tough spot here against the Ducks. Ducks are going to score probably 3 to 4 goals. McTavish is going to have one of them. Pairing that with Novak Djokovic, lower than 1.5 sets. I think that he's going to win this one 3-1 exactly. Sorry, it's lower than 1.5 sets lost for Novak Djokovic. So yeah, I think he's going to win this exact 3-1 against our man Alexander Zverev. 31.92x multiplier on the straight play. If you flex it, 19.15x or 4.47x. All right, that's all I got for you today. Let's make some money.